since 1918. Service is our motto. The poor, the rich, the middle class and all are given the best of care and attention at all times. You have the privilege to select what you want. In your time of need, contact the capable, the competent, and the dependable staff of the J.W. Williams Funeral Home who is genuinely concerned with your care. At J.W. Williams Funeral Home, you are aptly served by the proprietor and president, Deacon Arthur L. Parker, who continues the traditions and values set forth by the past president, Dr. Napoleon Williams. Your announcers for the J.W. Williams Funeral Home Sunday morning program are Deacon Arthur L. Parker, Reverend Isaac H. Owens, Mrs. Calandra Wilkerson Parker, Minister Frankie Harmon, Ms. Sandra Johnson, and Deacon Earl Clark, Jr.
Thank you, and good morning, friends. We come to you this morning to bring announcements, dedications, and songs. We certainly hope that your day may be brighter after listening to our program. The family of Mother Mary Piccola Everett Jackson of Cordele, Georgia. The family of Mr. Eddie James Mitchell of Albany, Georgia. The family of United States Marine Corps veteran Mr. Lawrence Franklin Rouse of Americus, Georgia. Would like to thank their many friends for the food, the flowers, the condolences, and all other expressions of sympathy and kindness shown to them during their hours of sorrow and bereavement during the past week. Mother Mary Piccola Everett Jackson, age 90, of 203 South 12th Street, Cordele, Georgia, died Sunday, May 5th, at her residence in Cordele, Georgia. The funeral service for Mother Mary Piccola Everett Jackson, age 90, was held Monday, May 13th, in the sanctuary of her beloved Cordele Church of God in Christ in Cordele, Georgia. The pastor, Elder Darrell Leggett, officiated. The burial followed at Westview Cemetery in Cordele, Georgia. Survivors include her loving and devoted daughter-in-law, Mrs. Gwendolyn Jackson of Cordele, Georgia, her loving and devoted granddaughter, Miss Tiffany J. Sumler of Cordele, Georgia, her loving and beloved great-grandchildren, Mr. Joshua Sumler and his wife, Mrs. Jasmine Sumler of Hawaii, Miss Janice Sumler of Cordele, Georgia, Miss Jaden Sumler of Virginia Beach, Virginia, Miss Jordan Sumler of Hagertown, Maryland, Miss Jenny Sumler of Daytona Beach, Florida, Mr. Jackson Sumler, and Mrs. Jonna Sumler, both of Cordele, Georgia. 4 beloved great-grandchildren, a loving and devoted sister, Mrs. Essie Raines, and her husband, Mr. Henry Raines of Warner Robins, Georgia. A beloved and caring brother, Mr. Curtis Everett, and his wife, Mrs. Marjorie Everett of Fairburn, Georgia. A host of beloved nieces, nephews, cousins, other relatives, and many sorrowing friends survive Mother Mary Piccola Everett Jackson, age 90, of 203 South 12th Street, Cordele, Georgia. Mr. Eddie James Mitchell, age 78, of 2627 Lansing Drive, Albany, Georgia, died Wednesday, April 24th, at Emory Hilldale Hospital in Lithonia, Georgia. The funeral service for Mr. Eddie James Mitchell, age 78, was held Saturday, May 18th, graveside at the Sattler Cemetery in Lee County, Georgia. Elder Anthony Walker officiated. United States Marine Corps veteran, Mr. Lawrence Franklin Rouse, age 65, of 706 Brooklyn Terrace, Americus, Georgia, died Monday, May 13th in Americus, Georgia. The funeral service for United States Marine Corps veteran Mr. Lawrence Franklin Rouse, age 65, was held Saturday, May 18th, in the sanctuary of the Big Bethel Baptist Church in Americus, Georgia. The Reverend Roderick Hubbard, pastor, the Reverend Calvin Rollins officiated. The eulogy was delivered by his beloved sister, the Reverend Pamela Ivy Woods. The burial with military honors followed at Staley Memorial Gardens in Americus, Georgia. Survivors include his loving and devoted mother, Mother Alberta Williams Rouse of Americus, Georgia. His loving and devoted children, Mr. Derek Swain and his wife of Austell, Georgia. Mr. Chantrell Thomas Sr. and his wife, Mrs. Tanika Thomas of Warner Robins, Georgia. And Mr. Lawrence Rouse and his wife, Mrs. Tenny Boone of Americus, Georgia. 9 beloved grandchildren, 2 great-grandchildren, his loving and devoted sisters, Mrs. Pamela Williams and her husband, Mr. Tony Williams of Americus, Georgia. The Reverend Panella Ivy Woods and her husband, Mr. Harold Woods of Decatur, Georgia. A beloved brother, Mr. James Franklin Rouse Jr. and his wife, Mrs. Carmel Rouse of Columbus, Georgia. His beloved aunt and uncle, Apostle Helen Felton of Auburn, Alabama, and Dr. Charles Rouse of College Station, Texas. His beloved stepmother, Mrs. Mary Jo Rouse of Americus, Georgia. A host of nieces and nephews, host of cousins, other relatives, and many, many sorrowing friends, to include his high school friend, the Reverend Furman Tyson, and the Eastview Drive neighborhood survived United States Marine Corps veteran, Mr. Lawrence Franklin Rouse, age 65, of 706 Brooklyn Terrace, Americus, Georgia. Again, the family of Mother Mary Piccola Everett Jackson of Cordele, Georgia. The family of Mr. Eddie James Mitchell of Albany, Georgia. The family of United States Marine Corps veteran, Mr. Lawrence Franklin Rouse of Americus, Georgia, would like to thank their many friends for all of the many kindnesses shown to them during their hours of sorrow and bereavement during the past week. May God bless each of you, is their prayer. The Jwwilliams funeral directors serving Cordele and Vienna were in charge of each of these arrangements during the past week. And now, it is certainly with the deepest regret that we make the following announcement. Mrs. Carolyn Sue Barner Colson, age 77, of 314 West 25th Avenue, Cordele, Georgia, died Monday, May 13th, at a residence in Cordele, Georgia. Survivors include her devoted friend and former husband, Mr. Benny L. Colson of Perry, Georgia. Her loving and devoted son, Mr. Erskine D. Colson of New Jersey, Mr. Vidal Colson and his wife, Mrs. Kimberly Colson of Cordele, Georgia, Mr. Kevin Colson Sr. and his wife, Mrs. Siobhan Colson of McDonald, Georgia. 11 beloved grandchildren, 5 great-grandchildren, her loving and devoted sister, Miss Pearlie Mae Barnum of Cordele, Georgia, Miss Dorothy Alston of Atlanta, Georgia, and Miss Martha Ruffin of Warner Robins, Georgia. A host of devoted nieces, nephews, cousins, other relatives, and many, many sorrowing friends survive. Mrs. Carolyn Sue Barner Colson, age 77, of 314 West 25th Avenue, Cordele, Georgia. The funeral service for Mrs. Carolyn Sue Barner Colson, age 77, will be held Tuesday, May 21st at 12